Welcome back to our third edition of Tech Talk. And today I am privileged to have representatives from our welding program. We've got Mr. DePaul, our instructor, and Senior Hudson Hill, senior from Hebron High School, who's got a lot of good things to tell us about what he's experienced in welding. But, you know, Mr. DePaul, tell us a little bit about yourself, about your background, and about the welding program here at Tech West.
Sure. As far as my background, I actually took welding with Louisville ISD. I graduated in 2008. Our campus at that time was called Dale Jackson Career Center. After taking the class, it really instilled a passion for welding. I went to the Hobart Institute of Welding Technology in Ohio, and that's really where I got most of my skill set. Upon graduation, I went to several different jobs, from making trains with Trinity Industries, making 18-wheelers with Peterbilt. For a little while, I had a job on a NASA contract. It was very cool. We got to learn all kinds of neat stuff about stainless steel on that one. That's a little bit about my background. And for the program, we're heavily focused on certifications. When I got into teaching, that was one thing that was really important to me, because when I graduated, I realized that without the certification, it's really hard to get those callbacks, for interviews and weld tests. So we focused on that very heavily, and our students have the most certifications in the nation for a high school program. So we set the bar pretty high for them there.
You say the most certifications out of any high school. Approximately how many is that?
Well, I would say we have several of the top students. We have one student that has 23 welding certifications, and I think he has the record right now.
Holy
and we
cow.
have multiple other students that are fighting for that record. So
okay, all right. Well, good deal. Well, Hudson, welcome to Tech Talk this afternoon. And tell us a little bit about yourself and why you wanted to be in the welding program and your experience in the welding program.
Why I want to be in the welding program was I always loved working with my hands. I can't really ever sit down and stay still. So I was kind of looking at different trades and seeing what kind of would let me be outside the most. And so that kind of helped me land on welding. And my experience in welding class is honestly, it's a blast. I enjoyed every moment of it. Got a lot of certifications. I think I'm at like 15 now. But got to build a few different projects, so it's just been a lot of fun right now.
How many total semesters have you been here in the welding program?
This will be my fourth semester.
Okay.
You've gotten to go to quite a few competitions
and
build-offs too.
Yeah, I know. 2 last year and doing 1 this year, and then a few different competitions. So it's been a lot of fun. See different schools, different places, got to build a lot of things, competitions.
So last year we did 13 different competitions. Hudson placed in the top 3 in multiple competitions, which allowed him to win scholarships and tools, and got a lot of good experience too.
Awesome. All those donated from people in the industry and business partners?
Exactly, yep.
Okay, awesome. Mr. DePaul, if you had to say one thing that you were most proud of about the welding program here, what would it be?
Well, I think it's definitely our certifications, but I think what we do best that highlights the program is our signing day event. That's an opportunity for us to celebrate our business partnerships and student accomplishments, as they're graduating. And with the goal of getting students placed in jobs when they graduate. We've been able to hand out, scholarships or award scholarships and tool packages to the students. In my opinion, if the students are leaving with certifications, job experience, and tools in their hands, they're ready to hit the ground running in the industry. So I think that event is really kind of like the icing on the cake for me.
And you have students such as Hudson, who is actually working right now while enrolled in school, half day, correct?
Yes, sir.
And who are you working for?
I'm working for Motor Controls Incorporated.
Okay. And how's that experience been?
It's a lot of fun. Really good. I've learned a lot of things there. That's just kind of you pick up while you're in industry. It's hard to learn when you're in school, because it's like you got older guys that teach you different ways how to do things that may be easier than you would have thought. But it's been a blast working there. I think I've been there for almost a month and a half.
So you're in your fourth semester and you're out working half a day for them at afternoons, I'm guessing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. And the compensation, how's that
Really good.
for a high school student?
Yeah, really good.
Awesome. How about a question for you here? If you could give advice to a future welding student, what would that be?
I would tell them don't give up when things get hard, because there's been so many times when I've wanted to give up on a certification test, and because I just couldn't get it, and DePaul's over there telling me, you can make it look better. You can do this, you can do that. I'm like, yes, sir. And then I get back in the booth and I just strike up another arc and get back to it. And so you just got to keep your head down, stay focused, and don't give up.
Does that apply to deer stands too?
No, it doesn't.
No? Hudson's been trying to work on a deer stand for me for about 2 years now, and I'm not sure where he's at in that process,
the
but
parts
that's
are on
another
back order.
story. Oh, the parts are on back order.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, well, that's industry, right? Parts
Yeah.
are on back order.
Nothing we can do about that.
No. Mr. DePaul, give us an overview of that welding program. So, for those of you that didn't know, actually next year we are adding a welding program at Tech East, and that program there and our program will work collaboratively to really have a really strong welding program here in Louisville ISD. And, you know, we've had such a large waiting list for students to get into our welding program because, let's be honest, it's one of our most popular programs that we have here on campus. And I would say does a really good job of getting students industry ready for those that want to go into the field. But talk to us real quick about, you know, the courses that are involved in the program, the semesters, the certifications. I know you had mentioned that. Explain a little bit about that. Employment opportunities, competition opportunities, and just overall expectations. What does that look like in the welding program here?
So we have several classes, and they start your junior year. So we have a Welding 1, which is a half day for a semester, Welding 2, and then we have a Practicum 1 and a Practicum 2, where you can actually get credit for being in school while you're off at a job site getting work experience. You know, the expectation as far as, you know, what we do in class, we, you know, focus on safety first because, you know, I can't really turn you loose in the shop if you don't understand how to do it safely. After that, you know, we focus on the procedures and how we're going to learn in the class. So, you know, usually there's a few modules or a little bit of coursework, so you have a baseline understanding of the process that you're about to do in the lab. And then you'll go out and practice a little bit until you're ready to take a certification test. When you pass that test, you know, it immediately unlocks the next module, so it's self-paced. For example, if Hudson gets out there and, you know, he passes his stick welding certification in, you know, the first week or two, then he could move on to MIG welding, whereas he might have a few classmates that need extra time. And that, I think, motivates a lot of students because it is self-paced and they can really go as fast as they need to. The certifications, I think we have really an incredible opportunity. In industry, these certifications cost $600 per attempt, pass or fail. We're able to offer them to our students. You know, it's $80 per semester, as many certifications as you can earn. And I think taking that approach is really what's allowed us to excel over, you know, some other programs that they might focus on getting one of those certifications and then, they might be off to doing some projects and things like that. But it's allowed us to really bolster our resumes and, make our students industry ready. Another thing I do want to point out is when students are 18 years old, we're offering them a forklift certification class. That's not just for students in my course. We open it up to everyone on campus, and sometimes we open it up, throughout the district as well. They also earn a few safety certifications. So really each semester they'll get 4 welding certifications in addition to their safety and forklift certifications. And by the time they've taken, 3 semesters, they should have a minimum of 12 welding certifications, a forklift certification, 2 safety certifications. And this year we also implemented the micro work ethic certification as well. So really we're just trying to, set everybody up so as soon as they graduate, they are ready, and they don't necessarily have to attend a trade school, which can take, a year to get to the same level that these guys are currently at.
So I wrote down a few notes as you were kind of responding to that question. The first one being very self-paced. And, I've seen the work that you do individually with students, and, you have an accountability system that's at a very high level. You know where students are on their certifications, what they're working on currently, and then how many days they've been spending on that certification, which is very, very impressive. But I heard you say that students have to be able to self-pace. So, for students coming into that program, they're going to need to be really autonomous in their learning and be able to focus in on the task that they're given.
Yep.
Is what I'm guessing you're saying here.
Absolutely. Being a self-starter is really going to help you out a lot in this class.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of students in here that are working on different things. So it's really helpful if you can, follow the steps that I've laid out to get you where you need to be in understanding for, each level, for each major grade that we're doing.
You say self-starter, and it just reminds me more of the micro work ethics certifications that our students have been working on. I mean, Hudson, have you seen the benefits from that program as far as your application for it in our welding program?
I have. I've noticed it actually myself at work and here. Because there's a lot of guys that kind of don't really want to get in there and go straight to work, kind of sit around and talk. But I like to just kind of head down and get straight to work, and don't really like to take a lot of breaks, just get my work done. And so I feel like I really started happening after took all the micro work stuff. So it's helped me a lot. It's
that satisfaction of being able to see your accomplishments as you work on them, especially in welding. I mean, it's a step-by-step process. If you're building something, you got to complete the first step before you move on to the second step. And, it's just a continuous thing, and that's why I think it's been so great for our campus as far as, the implementation of that amongst all of our programs this year, just to help students understand the importance of work ethic and how that's going to differentiate them from their peers as they go looking for careers or enrolling in college or whatever their future may be. Safety obviously is a huge thing, but I also wrote down, Mr. DePaul, $600 per attempt of certification, and you're saying $80 for our kids, as many certifications as they can. I mean, that's significant. That's a very, very big deal. And again, I think that's a big contributing factor as to why that program is so popular here on campus. So great job, and we appreciate you and the work that you do with your kids day in and day out to get ready for their future.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
I realize I kind of glossed over part of your last question, but you also asked about, competitions, and we talked a little bit about that, but another aspect of our competitions is we also build projects. So, if you get ahead of schedule or you've met the requirements as far as your credentials and certifications in class, that's when you you get some time to work on, personal projects or class projects. And since you're letting me brag for a little bit right now, the past 2 years at the state level competition in Skills USA, our class has had a project that's won Best in Show for welding, for manufacturing, and then also overall Best in Show out of 1,200 projects that showed up at that competition. So we've been able to make some pretty cool stuff, and I get a lot of satisfaction out of that.
100%. We should have brought the heavy metal guitar and the Bulldog in today to kind of showcase that. Still working on the deer stand though.
Oh yeah.
So,
That wouldn't fit in this room.
wouldn't fit in the room. Yeah, it's the Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
Anything else that y'all want to share about your experiences in the program, or advice that you'd give to parents who are looking to get their kids enrolled in welding, or just any last minute thoughts that y'all have that we haven't covered or talked about?
As far as advice for parents and prospective students, I would say, since this class is not offered until your junior year, I'd say focus on all of your graduation requirements your freshman and sophomore year that you can, to free up room in your schedule. Maybe considering VLA or anything like that, especially for those students that are involved in band or sports. It can be hard to fit everything into your schedule junior and senior year that you want to do. So that would be my top.
I'm really glad that you brought that up, because we see that a lot, and we do have a lot of students who take advantage of VLA, and I'll use Hudson as a prime example. I mean, Hudson was a varsity football player the last couple of years.
Yes, sir.
And so he was able to balance coming over here pretty much 4 semesters in a row for welding. Did you take VLA classes?
I've taken VLA classes since the summer going into my freshman year.
Wow. So that's dedication right there. But he's made it work, and obviously with 15 plus certifications and a practicum placement of employability and making good money on the side at part time. And are you planning to go to college, or are you planning to work full time, or what? I'm going down to the pipeline down in July. I'm figuring out a set date in July, but it'll be early July. Awesome. Well, I know there'll be lots of opportunities there for you, and want to wish you well as you begin your career. Keep us posted on your progress and how you're doing. I know you'll keep in touch with Mr. DePaul, but, if you ever have free time, want to work on that deer stand, you let me know. Hopefully we can get it done pretty quick. But, in all seriousness, I do think, you've been a great student here in this program, and, we're proud that you're coming out of Tech West with the experiences that you have, and I know Mr. DePaul's proud to, work with those business partners to, get you that placement. And just don't ever stop trying, don't ever stop working, and always give it your best, and things will turn out well for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, well, thank you all for being here with me today, and hope you enjoyed our time together. And thank you all for tuning in to the Tech Talk over our program here at Welding, and we look forward to seeing everybody next time.